Hi guys, my name is Castro. Welcome to another episode of my channel. Today I'm going to take a different trajectory away from business and discuss matters history. As a Pan-Africanist and someone who believes in the affairs of Africa, I've outlined several videos of various African leaders who I think, in my opinion, have not been accorded the level of respect and recognition they deserve. So in this episode today, we are going to take a brief account of the life and legacy of the great Thomas Sankara from Burkina Faso. Thomas Sankara was famously known as the African Che Guevara. This is because he had the same qualities with the Che Guevara of Cuba. Thomas Sankara was a great African leader, a very visionary leader who was ahead of his time. He was against neocolonialism, he was against corruption, he fought against imperialism, and he was also against the excessive government spending. But before I do so, if you are here for the first time, kindly subscribe and leave the notification bell on so that whenever I post such a video, then YouTube will automatically notify you. Otherwise, you're welcome. Thomas Sankara was born in 21st December 1949 in Nyako village, French Upper Volta. He was the third born in a family of 10 siblings. While growing up, Thomas Sankara's parents, who were Roman Catholics, wanted him to join the priesthood, but he chose to join the military. Joining the military at that point was very popular because the military had just ousted the then president, was very despised by a majority of the citizens. Another incentive that made him join military was that acceptance into the military academy came with the full scholarship and was very passionate about education. So in 1970, at the age of 20, Thomas Sankara was sent for a military training in Madagascar. While at Madagascar, he encountered a first-hand student uprising which led to the ouster of the then Madagascar president. While at Madagascar, that's why he came into contact with the works of Vladimir Lenin and Karl Marx. The works of Karl Marx and Vladimir Lenin would later profoundly influence his political and economical views. In 1976, Thomas Sankara rose to the military ranks and he became a commander in one of the military training camps. While at the military training camp, that's where he met his ally, the man would later eventually lead a coup against him, Blaise Comparè. Thomas Sankara was not only a dedicated military officer, but he was also an eloquent speaker. This made him be appointed Minister of Information in the government of Zebo in September 1981. Unlike other ministers, Thomas Sankara rode daily to work. He felt that there was no need of him using a vehicle because he felt that the government of the day was spending excessively on fuel, and yet there were so many critical matters to be taken care of. So there's a coup done and the government of Zebo was ousted, and Jean-Baptiste became the new president of Upper Volta, and Thomas Sankara was made the prime minister. Being the prime minister of Upper Volta, that's where he came into limelight into world politics. He met with world-renowned revolutionaries like Fidel Castro from Cuba and Samora Machel from Mozambique. Thomas Sankara's radical ideologies and leftist movement made him clash with the president, leading to his ouster and eventual arrest. His arrest angered a section of young military personnel led by Blaise Comparè, and in 4th August 1983, Blaise Comparè led the section of the military and toppled the government of Jean-Baptiste. They formed what he called the National Council of Revolution, with Thomas Sankara as their president. Upon getting into power in August 1983, at the age of 33, Thomas Sankara first changed the name of his country from Upper Volta to Burkina Faso, which meant the land of honest men or the land of upright men. He also changed the country's national flag and wrote the country's new national anthem. Within weeks of his presidency, Thomas Sankara managed to vaccinate approximately 2.5 million children against meningitis, yellow fever, and measles. Thomas Sankara also led a literacy campaign, and during his reign, he managed to change the country's literacy from 13% in 1983 to 73% in 1987. Thomas Sankara was also passionate about environment, and during his reign, he managed to plant over 10 million trees. He was also one of the few African leaders to appoint women in powerful government positions. Thomas Sankara was against increased spending by the government on fuel. So to curb on this, he sold all the sleek Mercedes cars, the state-owned, and replaced them with the Renault 5. So Renault 5 became the official cars to use by the ministers and government officials. He also reduced the salaries of public servants by leading by example. He merely earned $462 a month. Thomas Sankara, during his reign, he also distributed land to very many squatters in his country. He was also against international aid from the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. He claimed that those aid came with the strings attached, and he was not going to be party to it. He believed that his country could be self-sufficient from European influence. During the 1987 AU summit, Thomas Sankara's speech was very profound. He urged the African states to forfeit paying the debts they owe to their colonial masters. This statement rubbed so many European nations not so well, and in 1987 the French and the CIA plotted with Blaise Comparè, and they assassinated Thomas Sankara along with the 12 others. Blaise Comparè eventually became the president, and he ruled the country for another 27 years. Within that 27 years, he renounced all the policies advocated by Thomas Sankara, and Burkina Faso once again became one of the poorest countries in Africa. Blaise Comparè was ousted in a coup d'etat in 2014, and he fled to the neighboring Ivory Coast. Immediately the coup d'etat was done, the trial of assassination of Thomas Sankara was commenced, and in April 2022, Blaise Comparè and 12 others were sentenced in absentia. He was sentenced to life imprisonment. That's how one of the greatest African leaders' life was cut short without meeting his full potential. He was assassinated just at the age of 37 years old. As we speak, Burkina Faso is still under the military rule, and Blaise Comparè was sentenced to life imprisonment and is still in exile in Ivory Coast. So that's all for today, guys. See you again next time. Thank you.